Yeah, I had it in pause. All right, everyone. So, welcome to Google My Business. GMB will be the acronym that we're going to see, and we being part of Keller Williams and the Keller Williams tribe, we are no, we're pretty used to acronyms, and so when we go through this, what I want to start off with is this piece right here. And this, for those that have not seen this before, this is the six personal perspectives. And what this is, when we start going through the six personal perspectives, what we're talking about is going from E to P to start, from entrepreneurial to purposeful. And what I'm asking to start the class, whether you're in the only one in the room with me with Jamie and or anyone online, and I can no longer see your photos because I have truly removed them so that you can see my screen. Someone tell me what going from E to P means to them.
I think it goes from developing your business to maintaining your business.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Give me a little bit more about that.
Entrepreneurial, that is where you are going hard. You are trying to develop and create who you are and what your business is going to be and who you're going to cater to. And you're also developing the business. The purposeful style is the maintaining piece of now you've identified it and you're running with it indefinitely. To me, that's what I
Yeah,
think.
perfect. I like that. What else? What
I
else are
think
we thinking?
I think we need to throw that scheduled word in purposeful.
Yeah, there could definitely be a piece of let's get some time blocking in there. Let's get my calendar. Let's get my GPS. Absolutely. What else do we think when we're looking about this from E to P? All right. Well, let's take a look at this. Right, when we're talking about moving from E to P, this is what we're looking at. It says high achievers are always looking for the purposeful way. By doing this, they overcome the ceiling of their natural behavior. So when we go through this, everyone, when we start thinking about being entrepreneurial, we all have our natural abilities. We can go back to high school, we can go back to college and sports and all these different pieces, and how we were all athletes back in the day, right? Like if we were to think about this, and it's like, oh my God, I can't even imagine competing with some of these kids anymore. But we just had the natural pieces minus what we were coached, what we were taught, what we thought about. We were able to do things. So that might be where we're natural in having conversations with people, to where we're people, right? To where we can actually go out, we can have a conversation. And that's where we start taking scripts and different pieces as well. And we start adding scripts, and then our conversations are more purposeful. Yes, I can hold a conversation with pretty much anyone, almost about any topic that there is, as long as we're not talking like nuclear biology. If that's a thing, I think I pulled that out of somewhere, and I don't know if that's real or not. But um, we're all yeah, it's the future. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if we're going through, right, are we being purposeful and leveling up our natural abilities? And here are 5 steps to getting more purposeful. Firstly, it's the focus. We have our goals, right? That's our couple days out goals. Maybe it's our monthly goal, our quarterly goal, our every 6 month goal, our yearly goal, our 5 year goal, and our sum year goal. Whatever that looks like, we need to have it on paper, and we need to know what that is. Then it talks about focusing on the 20%, right? Because this is the thing. We can obviously and easily get very lost in the weeds with a lot of the things that we do. And we know that 20% of our activities are going to drive the majority of our results. And so, what I mean by that, right, is if I'm thinking about building a big business, there are many ways to build this business, right? I can do mail outs, I can go door knocking, I can do social media, I can do paid social media, I can do organic, right? And we know that only 20% of those activities are going to drive the majority of our results. And the 20% of those activities are really conversations with people. So appointments, like appointments is our number one. Like that's what we should be focusing on. Yeah, the other stuff matters, but it doesn't matter as much. Finding the strategic options, right? How can it be done? Are there different ways and better ways to do that, right? Going through finding models. I'm listening to a book right now on my way in from uh, my house, and it is the Innovation Stack, is what the book is called. And it was interesting because he's talking about how no one would publish, no publishers would touch him, because when he was creating this book, and it's how to create and how to be an entrepreneur, he didn't have a list of do this, then this, then this, then this. And so no one wanted anything to do. And so he's like, all right, guys, so I just want to let you know this is the number one way that you have a successful business. Take notes on this. You've been doing this from before you were born, and this is how every business has done it. He says, copy what the most successful business has ever done and run that play. Right? And that's what he was saying, right? That we're going through and we're actually just finding out how people have done this. We're sending it to our R&D department. We rip it off, we duplicate, and then we enhance it as we go. We need a time block. I did hear the time blocking piece in there. We create our checklist and we test our systems, right? We're running red light, green light. We're making sure that the systems and models actually work. And if we're throwing money at it, are we getting the return on investment that we're looking for? And then we bring accountability into it, guys. This is the thing. We need to be able to measure everything we're doing. Maybe it's an accountability partner. Maybe we're journaling about it, but we need to be making sure that we are holding everything that we do accountable. I saw this meme the other day or something along the lines of how we will actually sit down and invest tons of time and energy into knocking out a series on Netflix, but yet we don't put that same time and energy into accomplishing our goals, right? And I think that's very real as I am scrolling through Facebook and I tripped over that meme, right? And so I think it's very important that we need to be looking through and figuring out what's important to us and what are we doing to level up and to get to where we want to be. So, Google, this is Google's mission statement. Our mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So when I think about this, right, I think about being the real estate economist of choice. I think about how I need to take massive mind share and then market share will come next. I think that when I think about creating a big business, a big real estate business, I need to be a connector of people and products and services. And then I think of Google's mission statement, which is right here, and I'm thinking to myself, God, everything that I've been thinking about to scale and enhance a business that I would want to build, Google is saying that is their mission statement as well. So be thinking about this, everyone. Google's mission is to organize all the information in the world and make it accessible and useful. And I think the useful piece is big, right? Because yes, we all had another closing, and tell me a story about the closing. Why should someone care about that? What benefit does that have for me? And as we go through this journey, we're going to look at it. So here are 9 search statistics around Google for 2022. And it says this: it comes at no surprise that Google is the most visited website. And to put the numbers on it, Google was visited 89.3 billion times in the past month alone. Okay, and so you're going to see where all the statistics come from as well. It says the latest data shows that Google processes over 99,000 searches every single second. And this makes it more than 8.5 billion searches per day. 63% of Google's US organic search traffic originated from a mobile device, right? And just think about it. How many times have you Googled local restaurant, right? Anything in that area, and then Google tells you based off of your area, this is who you should be looking at. As of October 2019, Facebook was the most searched keyword on Google, which is kind of interesting. Google dominates the search engine market. In fact, as of January 2022, Google holds 91.9% of the market share. I think Bing had like 2%, and Yahoo was like 3 or 4 at that point, and then the rest of it was other random stuff. Multiple times per day, consumers are turning to Google to resolve their queries. And to be precise, 84% of the respondents use Google 3 times a day or more. So people are going to Google 3 times per day to get their questions answered. Um, Google is also a starting point for almost half of the product searches. 46% of the product searches begin on Google. What's number one then? Any guesses? Bueller, Bueller, Bueller.
YouTube?
What was it? I'm sorry.
YouTube?
Oh, I heard YouTube. I like YouTube as the answer, but it's not YouTube. It's actually Amazon. Amazon is number one. So people either go to Amazon to search for products, which is number one, and it had like 50 something percent. Number two is actually Google. And still people are going to Google to do some searches. 90% of survey respondents said that they were likely to click on the first set of results, which means the first page. So anything that ranks in the first page, that's where they're going to click. And it says chances are if you can't find your desired results on the first page, you're actually just going to change your query. So they're not even going to go to page 2 or page 3 or page 4. They're going to say, my search was not what I wanted it to look like, so I'm going to research to actually find my answer that I'm looking for. So think about that. We want to rank on the first page as we're going through this. And organic search produced 23% of all site visits. So you have the ability to be in the search at least 2 out of the 10 pages that popped up, right? We know that the first 4 are paid and the rest of them are pretty much organic. So you have the ability to actually compete and to get your business seen on Google, which I think is huge. So this is what I want you guys to do. You're all at home right now. I have one in person. Get out your phone. I want you to Google yourself. That is the biggest thing. Let's get on this. Like, how many times have you ever gone to a class and the instructor's been like, all right, guys, get out your phone and play on it, right? So let's get out our phone and let's search ourselves and do it one of 2 different ways. I want you to go through and I just want you to Google your name and see what pops up. See if it is real estate related, see if it's from your past or current career that you have on top of being a real estate agent. See if it was that you were that high school athlete and now you're popping up in the new search, whatever that might look like.
Can I ask a question, Charles?
Yes,
Does it
absolutely.
know on our phone that we're us? Because my LinkedIn popped up second and then my Colorado property popped up first.
Yeah, so based off of your search history, it could think that that's the information that you're looking for. But this is what I would also say. If it's still pulling up your info, that's pretty awesome. Like if I were to Google Charles Coleman right now, it's not pulling up Charles Coleman Realtor. I actually have to give it more specifics. But if I put in Charles Coleman Real Estate Agent, I'm going to dominate the first page. If I put up Charles Coleman Realtor, maybe a little bit more Charles Coleman Keller Williams, right? So the more info I give it, yes, it's going to pull me up. And yes, it is going to look at your past search history to give you kind of what you're looking for. But do not discount that because it's coming from your phone, that it's still finding you. I think that's huge. So that would be my first thing. And if you guys put in your name and real estate agent or your business name, and on the far right side, the Google My Business page did not show up, you're in the right place today. That's what we're going to talk about. So this is what today looks like. We want to become the location authority, which is the new SEO for local businesses. So just like we talked about, right? Whenever Google infers a search, that someone is looking for something local, say a slice of pizza, banking, a local real estate agent, it should display a Google My Page business listing, so that GMB. So that doesn't matter if we are on maps, if we are on search, if someone is on Google it is very purposeful, right? So people are actually going in, they're searching for it, and it should show the Google My Business page profile when it's popping up. And it says it isn't just Google My Search, it's Google My Business Listing, which also populates in the maps on desktop and mobile. And it says the stronger your Google My Business page location authority, the less Google will hesitate to rank you. So what we're going to go through today is how we are going to set ourselves up for success to where Google says, someone's looking for a real estate agent in this area, we need to plug so-and-so. So if you would be a buyer or seller on Google's, right? So if a would-be buyer or seller on Google's real estate agents nearby or something similar, your profile will or won't show up based on your location authority, and that's what we're going to work on. So this is the very most simple piece that we're going to talk about, and it's just setting up the Google page. Then everything else is going to get a little bit higher level. So to set up your Google My Business profile, you need to make sure that you're actually logged into your Google account. Very first and foremost, that is going to be the biggest piece. So if you go into Google, you're logged into your Google piece. On the very top right, there's 9 dots. You're going to click on one of those 9 dots, which reads Google My Business page. From there, you're going to set up your listing, and you're going to go through the navigational prompts that's going to pull up, and you're just going to lay them out. And so I don't want anyone to do this because I'm going to give you some tips and tricks as we go through so that you can set this thing up right, and so that you rank higher, because there's going to be some different pieces where you're going to think that this is the way you should do it, and it's not. It's going to actually rank you lower for that. Once you do create the Google My Business profile, it will need to officially verify you, right? Which may entail a Google mailing you a postcard, which it does, and that's what it looks like. So if you're going to set this up at this location or our Westminster location, or if you want to do it from your house, that's totally fine. Google's going to send you a piece of mail before anything goes live, and there's going to be a note card, and I'm so far away from my office, a whole 15 feet at this point, or else I go run and grab it. But it's a note card. It says from Google. You open it up as a passcode, and then you type the passcode into the Google My Business profile, and then it goes live. So that's what it looks like, because they just want to verify you that you're a real person and that you have a real address, whatever you told them it was. And then it moves from there. So you will get a postcard from Google once you finish everything. So to optimize your Google My Business profile, you're going to lock in your NAP. And I know everyone just got excited. Everyone's like, I know what an NAP is, Charles. I'm going to hit that at 11 o'clock today. But this is your name, your address, and your phone number. Google's going to Google you, and this is a big tip, to see how your business is listed on other popular sites. So guys, when you're creating this Google My Business page, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Realtor.com, your Zillow, your insert whatever else here should look the exact same. So if you're going to say Charles Coleman Real Estate Agent, which would be kind of weird if any of you guys did that, everything else should match the exact same, because it's going to do Google searches and it's going to pull all that information in. You can't actually set up, this is my Instagram account, this is my Facebook, this is my Yelp. It actually searches and pulls all that information in, so it needs to match. You need to have the same address, the same phone number, and the same name, and it will link all of it in together. And it says it's kind of just like being asked to show multiple IDs, multiple forms of IDs. So as you're going through this, I want you guys to think, does my Instagram look this way? Does my Facebook business page look this way? Does my Yelp look the same? All of these different pieces will play a huge part into having all those icons under your business page. You can't put them in there on that Google My Business page search. It actually pulls them for you. So make sure they all match. Specifically business categories and subcategories. So this is what I wanted to make sure that you guys knew. You're all real estate agents. So you probably would all check the real estate agent box, and I'm going to tell you not to do that. you're going to want to check the real estate agency box. Google is going to reward you more and push yours higher if you say you're a real estate agency. So that should be your main category is real estate agency. And then you will add real estate agents, real estate consultants into your subcategories, right? Which sounds counterintuitive. You're like, Charles, I'm a single person team. I think that I am a real estate agent, and that's going to be what you're going to want to default on. And no, Google is actually going to rank you down for that. Put yourself as a real estate agency as your main category. Subcategories go from there. So then designate any and all applicable service areas. So you're going to go through and you're going to put in the areas that you service. And this is where the chess move is going to come in a little bit later. I'm going to tell you some different pieces, but this is the thing. Google's going to know if you're lying. So if you're like, Charles, I service the entire metro area plus Fort Collins and Colorado Springs, Google's going to say, prove it. So this is where I would probably do a smaller radius to start. And then if you implement in the chess move to where you can actually prove it to Google that you're in the different areas, this is where I would do it. But we're going to just go through and pick probably Arvada, right? Because if you're going to associate with the brokerage, if you're choosing this as your address, there's going to be some other things that are going to rank you up a little bit more because obviously we have some other things going on, and so it's going to tie that into you. But if you're going to pick a different service location, go smaller for now and then work into the outskirts. Your website, and then I did make my dots clouds, and I was pretty proud of that. So if you link to a slow loading, overall lousy website, it's a ball and chain, right? So that's what I'm going to say. There's a lot of us using the KW website, and I don't think it's slow moving. It's a little bit cumbersome compared to like if you were to look at Playster and some other different things. And this is what I'm going to challenge you to do. Make sure you spend some time on it and clean it up, right? Because this is the thing. It's very basic and very generic, and it still works. There's still SEO that's attached to it. There's some benefits to it. So if you are using the KW website, you can attach it to your Google My Business page, and you should. The alternative is to not use a website. You have to use a website, and like it will allow you to move forward without using it. But I'm saying that's a bad play. Invest some time in your website, whatever that is. And it says profile links. And it says, perhaps you notice that some Google My Business have a section where they display social icons linked to sites like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Make sure your website includes those links as well, right? So everything that you guys have should all link because this is what it's doing. Remember I said that it's going through and it's asking for multiple proofs of identity? Same thing here. So you need everything to have all of your pieces attached to it, and they all intertwine and create this web together, and then it's going to link them. You guys cannot put YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn on your Google My Business page. It goes out and finds it based off of, do all the informations look like it's the same person? Keep earning reviews. Guys, aim for as many seller testimonials as possible, seller stories, Google searches in which the searcher is seeking an agent tend to be associated with seller intent, right? And so seller intent, right? As we're going through, this isn't Facebook, this isn't Instagram, right? To where you're scrolling through and you're looking to see what your friends are doing. You're looking at memes, you're looking at those cat videos, whatever you do on social media, and then you trip over an ad for Amazon or for insert X here because of your patterns. People are actually getting on Google and they're purposefully searching. That's gonna be the biggest thing. That's why I'm thinking like Google is super important. Like I am doubling down on Google if I am starting a production business again, because this is purposeful searches. So we need to go through and what people are looking for. It says the review that was published exactly on Yelp, that's probably going to rank a little bit lower. We need to be making sure that we're not going out and getting a bunch of reviews all at once. And if it's someone that has never done anything with their Google account and they just set one up to give you a review, it's probably going to challenge that as well. So I might challenge some friends and family every once in a while to go give me a Google review. Brittany Heckenberg did something super awesome the other day. She actually sent out an email to her entire database. I mean, her entire database, and gave them criteria of why she thought that she deserved a good review. Whether you have worked with her in the past, you're a colleague with her, you know her from whatever, and just said, if you wouldn't mind just writing me a short story about X, Y, Z, and if you wouldn't give me if you wouldn't mind giving me a 5-star review. Like, I think that's huge, right? And because if someone has one of these different pieces, and maybe you even turn it into something, and you're like, we're going to pull, the top 5 reviews or whatever, and we're going to offer a gift card. So if you're like, Charles, like, I feel weird reaching out and asking for something like that, tie a reward into it, right? Like, people love getting something. It can be as simple as a $5 gift card to Starbucks, right? Like, I don't think you have to go tie a Traeger grill to this or a trip to Disneyland. This could be as simple as like a $5 gift card that you could do. But we need to be making sure that we're getting as many reviews as possible, because this is our online business card. People are Googling us to figure out who we are and do people like us and all these things. Because keep in mind, guys, like, if you were to go look at the national statistics, we're rated right above used car salesmen. So if we can get as many reviews as people are saying that we're awesome, then we're no longer that used car salesman. Then photos, products, and posts, the trifecta. There is compelling evidence that businesses with over 100 photos in their Google My Business listing get more clicks. And guys, this is what I'm going to tell you. We're actually seeing, like, we're doing some stuff with Google My Business here in the office, whether it's Red Day or class, and we're posting photos from it. It actually tracks how many people are looking at it. And now we're actually seeing newer agents call into the brokerage, and they're asking for interviews with the brokerage because they're Googling real estate agencies in the area, and we're popping up. And we have doubled down on these photos. Like, I don't care what the photo is, we're uploading them. And it's saying this, no, seriously, these are way more clicks, as in 1,065% more. If you have 100 photos in your Google My Business page, you will get 1,065% more clicks than someone that has less than 100 photos. And it's saying that more phone calls will come in too. And guys, this is what's cool. Whatever phone number you have attached to Google, what it also does is this. It gives you a Google My Business phone number to where it's actually tracking all the phone numbers or all the phone calls coming in. So if you were to go look, and if someone were to hit call from their mobile device, it actually attaches it to a tracking number and sends it to you. And then you actually have analytics on how many people are finding you online. And if you answer the phone, and it gives you all kinds of cool analytics where you don't have to pay for anything else. Like, this is all free stuff. In addition, check out the tools like this Geomore, right? And this is what we're going to talk about here in a minute, which allows you to geotag your images. This is the chess move that I was talking to you guys about. That way, as Google scans the content of your local business listing, trying to decipher whether it's relevant, it sees that your photos are tagged. So imagine this. You have a photo of you at an open house, you're doing a home tour, you're at lunch doing a review, you're doing something, and you have a photo. You take this photo, you run it through this platform, and it geotags it to where only Google and a computer can read it. Like, a person doesn't see this. Like, there's not numbers and stuff all over your photo. And then it's actually saying that you are the local economist of choice because you were in that area, and it actually geotags it. So all your headshots, behind the scene photos, team photos, maybe it's Red Day, it's a listing you were at, videos, anything that you're doing, how-to videos, infographics, anything that you're pushing out, geotag it and load it into the system. and then it will reward you as the local economist of choice. It's actually saying so. If someone's like real estate agent, and this is one of those areas where I told you they're going to Google you and they're going to say, tell you to prove it. This is how you prove it. So if you're doing some things to where you say that you're housed in Arvada, but maybe you're in Strasbourg, right? And you're doing a lot of different pieces and you're geotagging the Strasbourg pieces, and someone Googles real estate agent Strasbourg, you have 100 photos and you're playing the game that Google wants you to play. Google's going to reward you. They're going to push you.
So, on your phones, when you're taking pictures, you have to have it say tag a location
No,
or at all?
no,
Okay.
you don't do anything. You take the photo, and I'm going to show you the website next.
Okay, okay.
And so you take the photo, and I'm not going to show you the web, we're just going to talk about it a little bit more. And you upload the photo into this website, and there's multiple different websites. This is just one of them. And all it does, and there's a free version of it, and all it does is it codes your photo. It doesn't do anything like that. Our eyes don't see it. And then when you input it into Google, Google reads it and says, oh, this photo was taken at 123 Main Street.
Okay.
And it's just like, you just proved that you were there, and you didn't just rip off any stock photos and just did a bunch of random stuff. So
Could be anything, not even related to real estate.
100%, you could do anything that you want. That's what I'm saying. Like, this could be like, maybe you're writing a review for something, or you're filming some content somewhere, and you're stealing some shots, or you're out with friends, or a client meeting.
Yeah, sporting.
Yeah,
What
whatever
if-
you're doing, I'm your agent. Yes.
What if you're like having, dinner at a local restaurant or something? Just give them a good shout out. Is that appropriate for your business page?
Absolutely, I think it is, because this is the thing, guys. Like, we want to be the connectors of people. We want to shout out that we are local. And so if you're doing some different things where you're like, I eat at the same places that you, I shop at the same places that you, I go and have the same amount of fun as you guys do, like, those are the people that are going to do business with us, right? So absolutely, I think that if you're getting out into the world and you're doing different pieces, yes. Now, with that being said, like, if you're going out and you're going on a trip in a different state, I probably wouldn't do that one. Like, if you're going to a different country, I'm probably not going to throw that out there either. I'm going to leave that on my Instagram account. I'm not going to publicize this part of my business. So upload any of your active listings, seller guides, any on-demand webinars, first-time home buyer, estate planning, prepping your home for sale, anything. Like, these are the things that we've been talking in practice to perfect. All this stuff that we've been pushing out on Facebook Live, or join my Google Meets or my Zoom video, we're ripping that stuff off and we're using it here. So here's what it is. Here's the barcode if you want to scan it to get into the website. Or just Google this name. It's pretty much this geoimgore.com. And all it does is it takes your photos and it geotags it. There's a free version where you can do 5 per day, or there is a pro version for $10 a month where you can do 1,000 per month. And so it just goes through and it updates all of these different pieces for you, which I think is pretty cool. So I would look into this, and I would definitely double down on this, guys. Like, if you're looking and you're saying, like, guys, I don't have a lot of listings right now, or I've been just working with a lot of buyers, this is your way to actually steal some shots in some different places of you doing different things in the areas that you care about, geotag them, and then you said, my service area is in Broomfield, and then someone goes, real estate agent Broomfield, and then you pull up because you played the game and you got a bunch of photos that are geotagged in Broomfield, plus your service areas in Broomfield, and you did all the other things on this checklist. Google will reward you for this 100%.
And just to clarify, you don't post them, you don't have to post them, like, nobody sees them, they're just,
Well,
just for Google's.
you do post them on your business page, but how many people are tripping over it unless they're actually searching Jamie Dayton real estate agent,
Okay.
or real estate agent in Arvada, and you pop up because you're doing this. Yeah. So I would post it, guys. This isn't like Facebook where it's going to push it out to the masses. Like, people actually have to be purposeful about finding this stuff. So keyword rich Q&A. I love this, right? So it says either go off instinct, experience, or use a tool source. for the top questions buyers and sellers are asking in your local marketplace. So there's two ways to do this. You can either go out and ask your friends and family to go to your business page and ask you a question for you to answer. So you could actually Google, hey, what are the top 5 tips to get my home sold fast? Or what are the best return on value adds to my house? One of these different pieces. You can either have a friend or family ask that question on your business page and you answer it, or you can actually ask the question yourself on your business page and answer it as well. And then when people are in the area and they're searching how to get my home sold for top dollar in Arvada, and that's one of the questions that was asked on your web page, they're going to show your web page, like your Google My Business page. That's what's going to pop up. So you need to be thinking super hyper local. What might someone be Googling in my area, and or just go to a website that has all these frequently asked questions, and then put it on your site. And when someone types in the keywords or the geotagging is in the area and it's in an area that you service, they're going to show your response. The goal is to recognize the primary words and phrases buyers and sellers are utilizing in their searches, which are the keywords, and bake those words and phrases into your Q&A. Colorado, Arvada, etc. And maybe you want to double down on a neighborhood, right? Because this is the thing. Those bigger competitors, they're not doubling down on neighborhoods, right? They're not. They're absolutely not. So if you're going to focus on some neighborhood pieces, that is huge. So then, guys, what we just went through, you're good. You can hang out in here. This is what we did today, guys. We talked about being the location authority, which is the new SEO for local businesses. And we know that SEO has been around for a long time. And if any of you have played with websites, you know that you have to go in and do meta tags and hashtags and long term and short term and all kinds of other things. This is the thing. Google's made this super easy to where they have the #1 mind share for search engines, and a lot of it's coming off the mobile platform. So we should 100% be doubling down on these different pieces and focus on Google My Business as one of our 3 pillars for lead gen, because people are being super hyper purposeful, right? They're going in here, they're searching for different pieces, and we need to be focusing. And I don't want you to get lost in the weeds like, Charles, that's just another thing that I have to update. Well, you're already on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you might be doing some TikTok, some Twitter, some different pieces. Just take that content and move it over. Do some offerings. There's some other pro tips to where if you're using Calendly, like you know that I'm a Calendly advocate, to where if you were to load that up on Instagram, or I'm sorry, on Google, and maybe you set it up to your local coffee shop of choice to where you're already going to be doing business every day, and you have one standing appointment once a week to where if someone wants to just jump on your calendar and meet you, maybe it can be via Zoom if you want to set that up, or maybe it could be at that coffee stand of your choice. You can put that in this as well. You can put your website, you can put your hours of operation. Like, we get so many insights on ours to where it's going through, it's letting us the photos that are ranking, and it tells me, like, Elizabeth and I get an email, this photo has 50, 100. We just got a notification that one of our photos had 500 views on Google. Guys, think about this. Like, when was the last time that one of your photos on Facebook had 500 views? Right? And this is the thing. You're like, Charles, I don't even have 500 friends on Facebook, right? But most of us do. And as we're going through, people are searching real estate agent Arvada, Keller Williams, all these different keywords, and we are popping up. And I want that for you guys because people are actually searching for this stuff and coming into your ecosystem. And if you feed it enough, Google will reward you and push your info out more and more. So Google My Business, guys, we need to be focusing on this and going all in for one of our lead gen pieces. So we have a few minutes left. I know that was maybe a lot. What questions, comments, concerns do we have about Google My Business? Yes, that was me.
Oops. Nothing
I got
happened here. We're good.
yeah. I just threw pins everywhere. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, if there's no questions, if there's anything that I can help you with, please don't hesitate to reach out. Guys, Google My Business is big. And so the very first thing is to go onto Google, go log into Google, the top right corner, the 9 dots, click Google My Business and start the process. And then send it to one of the locations. If you're sending it here, that's perfectly acceptable. We'll let you know when you get your postcard. You open up the postcard, you put the code in, and it's off to the races from there. So I appreciate all of you. Yes, Emily.
Hey, Charles. I have Emily Birch, Realtor, on Facebook and Instagram. Do I need to change my LinkedIn, or is Emily Birch suffice and it connects me because LinkedIn knows that I'm a realtor?
Yeah, so I think you're okay on LinkedIn, and that's what's cool as well. If I were to put on on this class, you would see, like, if you find yourself, it's going to be Google My Business page. The number one thing would be YouTube if you had YouTube, and the number 2 search piece will actually be LinkedIn. So my and to this class would be, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, I would absolutely get a LinkedIn account, because actually Google pushes LinkedIn pretty heavily. But if it's already finding you, no, I wouldn't worry about it. Just leave it the way that it is, because it's obviously already pulling your info. What other questions, if any? Perfect. Awesome, everyone. Well, hey, have a great rest of your Tuesday. If I can be of any assistance, please let me know. And I hope to see you guys for our team meeting on Wednesday. Thank you all.
Thanks, Charles.
Thank you.